Good evening, folks. Welcome to a new edition of Curveball Convos with your boys at Carolina Curveball. Fellas, it's a fantastic Monday. Spring forward. It was light out at 7 o'clock today. Vibes are high. Summer is on the way. And Reed Tobin has fantastic lighting for Curveball Convos. What a time to be alive. Boys, it's good to see y'all. Braxton, Colby, Reed, for those listening. This is our cast and myself, Casey Rameli. We are here to recap week 4 as well as preview midweek madness. We will talk about that later. Don't forget to keep submitting your picks on our Instagram story. We love seeing who you guys want to win. Looking forward to that. But first, let's go around the horn. And Reed Tobin, you're in 8K right now. How's it going, man?
I'm good. I'm down here in Myrtle Beach for a work trip through tomorrow. On my phone connected, so that's probably why the connection's a little better.
Well, Tobin, you look absolutely fantastic. You are glowing through the screen, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
Colby, how is it? How's it going, sir? How was your weekend? And also want to note, happy NFL free agency. Happy NFL free agency to those who celebrate. It was a big day. I'm a big Panthers fan. Shout out my guy, Bryce Young, my NFL MVP. Colby, we had a big day texting about NFL free agency as well as talking baseball and basketball all weekend as March Madness is around the corner. But hey, before March Madness, there's midweek madness.
Oh yeah, hectic weekend. It was good. Some upsets, some results I didn't expect. Interested to talk about it tonight.
Cannot wait for that. And Braxton, I saw you this weekend. Want to touch on this? Josh Hamilton, Athens Drive legend. Braxton, you helped coach all of our alma maters at Athens Drive High School in Raleigh, North Carolina. You were there. Awesome moment. Shout out Chase Graham and Taylor Webster for putting that together. Really, really cool moment. Athens could not pull out the dub over rival Cary, but it was really sweet. And then lots of great baseball this weekend, as Colby said.
Yeah, really great day Saturday. Like you said, honored Josh Hamilton, retired the jersey at our high school, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of an underwhelming slate. A lot of media was talking about college baseball kind of being an underwhelming slate this week, but it delivered. I mean, we got upsets all over the place. We got a great series, Coastal ECU, that we'll talk about. UNC and Virginia was a good series. So I mean, I think, yeah, you got the World Baseball Classic going on right now. It's on behind me. USA, Mexico, of course, as well right now with Skeens on the bump. So there's a lot of baseball going on right now. And then obviously, like you said, March Madness coming right around the corner. So, but I mean, the college baseball slate was awesome. I actually enjoyed this weekend more than other weekends. So don't sleep on it, even though it's just some cupcakes, like people call it. A lot can happen, and we saw it this weekend. So.
Hey, Braxton, you tell him, brother. We're gonna we're gonna go ahead and kick right into this. Reed, I will begin with you to get your kind of take on this. Notre Dame defeats Duke the weekend 2-1. Notre Dame wins the first one 10-4. Duke wins the second game 6-5. Notre Dame then takes the series as you see on the Sunday scoreboard 2-0. Reed, without Cider Cannon, what are the Blue Devils?
Yeah, first I just want to say though, Aaron Judge just hit a 2-run homer, but
Thanks,
Let's
Toby.
go.
yeah, but no, I think Duke is in big trouble with outsider Cannon. You know, he'd been really good for them through the first 3 weekends of the season, and with not much experience on this team, losing most of their team to the portal to Virginia and wherever. He's stepped up in a big way the first 3 weeks. We saw him at Davidson last year, produce big numbers, and he was doing the case through the first 3 weeks here. I think he's out 8 weeks. I'm really worried about how Duke's going to go through this gauntlet of an ACC schedule. They play a lot of the top heavy teams in the league this year, and I think this was a missed chance. Not saying Notre Dame's a bad team, but definitely not one of the top dogs in the ACC. I think it was a missed chance this weekend.
Colby, your thoughts on Duke as they drop the series and kind of going forward? How do you kind of see their season playing out with the injury as well as just first year head coach and tough loss to start conference play?
Yeah, I totally agree with Reed. I'm very worried about Duke. Cider Cannon was controlling that offense, being the captain. Um, he was on track to be an all ACC type season. The way he started the season, obviously, there's a lot more season left to be played, but that's how he started the year. And like I said, captaining the offense, it's going to be tough. They're going to have to find some offense. I watched the game a little bit yesterday, had bases loaded in the 7th and the 8th, and just can't come through. So, they had opportunities. They just need some players to step up.
Speaking of stepping up in a big moment, in Colby against your Wolfpack, Lafayette gets their first win of the year in a big moment. We were kind of talking about this in the home run totals going in. Just talk about Lafayette taking game one, 11-6. Pack then wins 10-4 and then ends the series 14-4 in 7 innings. But Colby, all eyes are on that first game when the Pack drops that one.
Yeah, I think state schedule is becoming a reoccurring theme of Curveball Convos. I'll mention it probably once an episode, but we mentioned it last week. You're going to lose baseball games. You're not going to go undefeated. So it's critical not to lose these baseball games to quad fours, but it's going to happen when you schedule 20 quad four games in one season. That's what it's projecting to be, according to Warren Nolan for state schedule, 20 quad four games. So they've already lost 2, and with potential to lose some more since they have so many remaining. It's going to be tough for hosting chances for NC State having these 2 big eyesore losses on the resume.
And looking at NC State's strength of schedule on our sheet, 287th strength of schedule right now, RPI of 160. Some notable teams in the RPI above them: Gardner-Webb at 49, Upstate at 88, Citadel at 57, Western at 95. So, but this will all come down as they start to get into ACC play. But just those are some eye-popping numbers, as Colby said. Davison sweeps Lehigh, wins the first game 14-9, the second game 13-7, and the last one 10-7. And I want to highlight Braxton. Is it Forrest? How do you say his last name?
Yeah,
Leeds.
Forrest Leeds, I believe
Forrest
it is.
Leeds.
He had a very good week, 10 for 13 at the plate, I believe it was. Made the honor roll for us. Jamie Daly's another bat that's been consistent in that lineup. But good to see them get back on track. I think they had an 0-5 week last week, so I think they should have beaten Lehigh, and they did so. So they took care of business. But yeah, we're hoping that they can be a threat in the A10 this year.
Elon takes the series over A&T. A&T wins the first game 2-1. And kind of a shocker to us, then Elon finishes the job winning 8-3 and then 11-8. Elon now moves to 8-7 on the year. A&T now falls to 3-11. Not the ideal start for A&T, but hey, there's lots of season left to play. And now, one that I want for us to talk about, Gardner-Webb takes game 1 in Stillwater.
Yeah.
19-5. And I actually printed out the box score from game 1 to read it off, because this is quite something. Merrick Carter, leadoff hitter, 3 for 5, 3 runs scored, 3 RBIs, 1 walk. Matt, how do you say it? Ilgenfritz?
Yep.
Matt Ilgenfritz, 5 for 6, 3 RBIs, 4 runs scored. Merrick Carter had a home run. Matt Ilgenfritz had a home run, and Kelvin Augusto had 2 home runs as well. Ryan Cannell, their 3-hole second baseman, 3 for 5, 3 RBIs, 4 runs scored, and Kelvin Augusto, 3 for 5, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs in game 1. And then cannot forget on the mound, Oliver Ellison, 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks, 2 walks. Braxton, just a phenomenal game 1 for Gardner-Webb. They could not finish the job as the Cowboys take the series, winning 4-2 game 2 in a close one. And then the Cowboys blow them out the last one, 16-1. But Braxton, what a statement win to start off
Yeah.
the weekend for them.
Yeah, I mean that it was very incredible to see them just dominate in Stillwater in that game one. I mean, that was one of the late games of Friday night, and I turned it on, and I mean, I was shell shocked at that score. But I think that result there just kind of held them in the rankings because there was a lot going on around them in terms of some teams that could have been on the bubble or in. Obviously, we had the big Western win in the midweek, but they had a losing weekend. So I think just Gardner Webb showing that what they could do, blowing out Oklahoma State in game one, is what kept them in. Obviously, they lost their other games. They lost to Duke in the midweek, and then they couldn't pick up the series win, like you said, Kaysen. But this is just another one of those Big South teams that's going to be very competitive. We've said it all year. Like, the Big South is up right now. I think they can go right into that collection of teams with Upstate, Winthrop, Charleston Southern, High Point, obviously, who we'll get to. But it's just going to be a really interesting race, I think, in the Big South, and it's proving that it's not going to be easy league to win this year, which I really enjoy considering. That's where I played at in the Big South, so it's really awesome to see. But yeah, just a statement win for Jim Chester's bunch. Really, really good to see.
And
Shout
for
out.
the Big South, is it still just 4 teams that make the conference tournament still?
Well, I need to look at that because remember last year we thought it was going to be 4 or 6, and I think we checked and it was the opposite of what we thought.
I believe it's 6 this year.
Yeah, I think I want to say it's 6, but I'll have to double check. I mean, I haven't even started thinking about conference tournaments yet, but that's a good point, Colby. I mean, it could be really interesting to see who gets maybe left out of that because I think in the next team too we'll talk about is Asheville. They've been on a tear as well. They're sitting at 10-7 now. I know they've played some weaker competition, but that's another team that could threat in the Big South as well. So,
Reed, is the Big South the most underrated conference in America?
I mean, it's got to be up there. Considering some of the wins they had this past week.
Reed, what's the most overrated conference? Quickly.
Oh, you really want my thought on that?
yes.
Quickly. Give it in 15 seconds.
SEC.
Okay. We will now move on to Braxton, as you discussed. Asheville, 4-game sweep over Alabama A&M. They win game 1, 8-4, game 2, 6-1, game 3, 11-7, game 4, 12-7. And I want to highlight Blaze Johnson, phenomenal name, 8 for 11, 9 RBIs, 7 runs scored, 3 home runs, 1 triple, 1 double, 6 walks, 1 stolen base. Just an absolute machine at getting on base. Also want to highlight Chase Klingman,
yeah.
Klingman, 9 for 15, 3 RBIs, 4 runs scored.
Shout out to him, man. I used to coach
1
him.
double.
I used to coach him at TPA. It's a good player. He went to Apex High School, kind of a local kid. He's out there at Asheville. But, yeah, I mean, they're playing really well, just to go off your point, Jason. They've won 8 of their last 9 I just looked at. So, really good to see them win some games. And, yeah, Klingman's a good player.
Yeah, they are going to be a threat in the Big South. Hopefully just make that conference even deeper. Quinnipiac takes 2-1 over UNCG. G now falls to 6-10. Struggling for the Spartans so far, not ideal. And Colby, Campbell wins a weekend series as they sweep William & Mary, winning game 1 9-2, game 2 6-1, game 3 8 for 5. Good. This is a good outing for Campbell this weekend. And Colby, they had 2 highlight pitchers as well.
Yeah. Hensley and Rosso, I think is how you say it.
Yeah.
His last name. Both went 5 strong. I think both had 9 strikeouts too.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, really good on the mound, and it's a good way to start a CAA play against William & Mary and taking the first series and sweeping. Start conference.
Yeah, much needed for them. That gets them back to 500 too. And like you said, Colby, 3-0 start to CAA play. Really important for them to sweep that this weekend.
And Colby, we're going to sling it right back to you, brother. Charlotte would be nominated for maybe Team of the Week this week. They had a phenomenal week this week. They beat Radford once in the weekend, Western twice, Colby, I'll let you dive into what went on there and how they're looking as a program as a whole. And they took a big rise in the power rankings this morning.
Yeah, what a week for Charlotte, splitting with Virginia in the midweek, and then taking both from Western. And we know Western was coming off a heater, beat ECU last Sunday, and then one at Georgia in the midweek, and then obviously beating Radford as well. Yeah, back behind their pitching staff. I mean, we had them in our curveball honor roll, Chase Oxborough and Chase Carson, but there's two other pitchers that didn't make honor roll, but definitely could have. You had Eddie Copper and Drew Munn also have terrific outings. Yeah, it's a good team. Interested to see as the AAC play rolls around. I think they play St. John's this weekend, so hopefully get another sweep going into conference play. But yeah, what a week for Charlotte.
Reed, what does this mean for the American going into American play soon?
It's good for the American. The way Charlotte's playing. I think we said going into the season we could have seen two bids, but Charlotte's really elevated their play here at the start of the season. Obviously we know what UTSA is doing. ECU still hasn't clicked it into gear, but I'm starting to like the chances that we could potentially see three teams. South Florida's off to a hot start too, as well in the American.
Braxton, the next series is Kentucky sweeping the Citadel, but I do want to touch on the Citadel. The Citadel has played a very tough schedule. Yeah. Thank you to Colby. Did you put the RPI in the sheet?
I think I updated it this morning.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Braxton. The Citadel has the 6th ranked strength of schedule in the country, as well as a 57 RPI. And Braxton, they do have pitching. They have just had a brutal schedule as they have the number 1 ranked schedule in the Carolinas.
Yeah, this team's a lot better than their record shows right now. I think they've obviously played. I mean, they've played Florida State, was it last week, and now Kentucky on the road. I mean, and they competed in all 6 of those games, right? Like I believe they had leads in 2 of the games this weekend. They went neck and neck with Florida State last week, so they've shown that they can compete with these big boys. I'm really interested to see how they do in the SoCon, and I'm also very interested to see how they do hosting South Carolina this week. I think that could be an upset watch there, the way they've been playing. Now we've talked about they've got the tools on the mound. It's just a matter of can they find the pieces in that lineup to generate runs, and that's kind of been their struggle. But they certainly can compete with anyone at the mid-major level in the Carolinas, I think, on the mound with that rotation and the arms they have down there. So I really want to see them compete again against South Carolina this week and just continue playing good ball. The wins will come.
And Braxton, another team you are high on is Clemson, as they have a 4-game sweep over LaSalle, winning Game 1 14-1, Game 2 6-4, Game 3 16-4, Game 4 16-3. What a tongue twister there, Braxton. They are rolling as ACC play is coming up on all cylinders. Just what do you expect from them as ACC play heats up?
Yeah, I think they got Georgia Tech next week. Is that right, Reed? That's a big series.
Correct. Starts on Thursday.
Starting on Thursday, so we'll probably be watching that when we have our Thursday show. But they took care of business this week, right? Like, you got to give them credit. They played 4 games. Obviously, they're one of those teams that did not start ACC play this week, much like NC State. And they hit the ball really well. Jaron Purify had a crazy week. I think he had a couple of homers, stole a bunch of bags, just doing what he does at the top of that lineup. Savoie has been a great addition for them, the Loyola Marymount transfer. McClatty's been really good. So, I mean, they look really good up and down that lineup, and they're going to be a tough game for anyone in the ACC. I think they're still kind of being slept on a little bit, if I'm being honest, in the rankings, the national rankings, that is. They've been our number 1 team now for, I think, 2 or 3 weeks straight, and that's deserved. They've taken care of business. They've looked really good doing it, too. And I expect it to continue, but we'll see how they look this week when they play Georgia Tech. I think they've got Georgia Southern as well in the midweek, so that will be that's a neutral site game, but that'll be an interesting one as well.
Highest RPI of any team in the Carolinas at number 3 with the strength of schedule of 26. Now, Reed Tobin, you were boots on the ground yesterday in Conway as Coastal Carolina takes the series winning game to in what was a pretty electric series. Game 1 went into extras, and Rex Watson and Colby Thorndike just took over down there in Springbrooks and just destroyed the Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, really entertaining series. Friday night. We talked about last Wednesday with Steven. Coastal had really been struggling offensively, and we were wondering when are they finally going to wake up. Well, it was this weekend. You look at Walker Mitchell; he had a pretty good weekend. Colby Thorndike really hit the ball well. The Pirates went down early in that game. Luke Jones had a career long outing, going 6 2/3, um, pitching really well. But the Pirates came back there in the eighth inning. Michael Kalinic hit the pinch hit homer to get the rally going, then a string of base hits. To give the Pirates the lead. And then, I think most of us thought when they gave the ball to Sean Jenkins there in the eighth that they were going to win. That was pretty unlucky there for Austin Irby. That was a great play that he made initially to stop the ball. I think he had time. I think he panicked just a little bit and flipped the ball there to Jenkins. I think he could have just dove and touched first base. And then obviously Rex Watson with a walk-off grand slam in extra innings. And then Saturday, Ross Norman gives off the leadoff homer to Braden Burrows. And, the way Norman had been pitching this year, I think most of us thought, oh, it's going to be another rough outing. He really righted the ship, though. He went 8 innings. Gavin Van Kippen was sensational for ECU, too. 7 innings he went, I believe. 11 strikeouts, gave up only 1 earned, 3 hits. And then, Rex Watson struck again in the eighth, go-ahead 3-run homer, and then they were able just to continue hitting the ball off Brett Analock, and clinching the series. And then, yesterday I was at the game. Pirates really jumped on Scott Duran, just hit the ball well all day. Rex Watson did hit another homer for Coastal, so big weekend for him. I think both teams are pretty similar. A lot of takeaways I have from this weekend. I got some question marks with ECU, but very fun series overall.
Colby, what did you take from this series as ECU lost the series and Coastal wins the series at home, kind of hobbled, and their kind of pitching stood the test versus ECU lineup that at some points can score 10 runs versus a North Carolina pitching staff and then can get shut out the day before versus North Carolina or shut out versus Western Carolina. So it's really just what did you learn from this series in Conway?
Yeah, as probably for Coastal fans, it's a series that you'll taking 2 out of 3 against ECU when you're really banged up, and ECU probably a little sour taste in your mouth. It's probably a series you're looking at you probably should have and could have won if you lock down Friday night's game after you take the lead in the eighth inning and then winning yesterday. Yeah, I was impressed with Coastal when they played at State on Tuesday or Wednesday of last week, and I'm still impressed with them after this weekend. I think once they add those arms back and get fully healthy, they're not going to be a fun team to play. ECU, I like how their offense showed up yesterday and to come back on Friday, because that Friday game looked like they were dead in the water through 6 or 7 innings, and they showed fight and came back Friday night. Just unfortunately couldn't get the job done. So I'm looking forward to see what ECU does to start off AAC play here shortly.
Braxton, did you have any comments?
Yeah, I think you guys hit a lot of good points. I mean, it was a great series. Friday's game was awesome. I mean, just the back and forth of that one. And I think you're right. I think if ECU takes that game, I think they they obviously would have won the series. But I think Coastal being at home really, really helped them this week. I think if this is in Greenville, I could see ECU taking that. I think both teams, like you said, are very similar. I mean, look at the RPI, 92, 93. So both have been very similar to start the season. I think I was really impressed with how Coastal's hitters kind of came up clutch, especially in game 2, right? That one was another close game throughout. I think it was, Case and we were at the Hamilton day that day, but it was like 1-1 pretty late. And then Coastal just kind of took over and did what they needed to do offensively. But yeah, I mean, I'm really impressed with Coastal. I think they've kind of obviously we talked about the injuries all last week, but they've kind of just settled in a little bit and they've gotten wins when they needed to. And I mean, if you would have told me they'd be 9-6 after 15 games with that schedule, I would have been like, you know what, that's good. I think that's solid because they played such a tough, first month or so of the season that now I think when they get into Sun Belt play, they're going to start rolling. They're going to keep getting healthier. They're going to keep getting better at the plate and finding their form. So I think it's definitely a big win for them. And then if you're ECU, like I said, I think you're beating yourself up a little bit more if you lose this series at home. I think the fact that, I think they were 10-0 against ECU in Conway before yesterday, or something like that. So, it is what it is. You competed hard, but you've still got some holes to fill, and you got to figure that out quickly because you got American play coming up. So. Just an awesome series. Like you said, Rita, I'm sure you had a great time yesterday, and the crowds looked pretty good all weekend, even though it was spring break.
And good news on that front, as Stephen Igo texted us this morning, Cliff Godwin said this morning, the ECU series will continue home and home as the Chanticleers will return to Greenville next spring as the series continues. So looking forward to that. So as ECU continues, ECU for years to come will continue the Coastal and Carolina series. Maybe for the Coastal series, they do a neutral site, maybe. I don't know. But maybe that's way too much travel. So we'll see as they are pretty far apart. College of Charleston, 2-1 over Hofstra. They win the first one 5-1. Hofstra win games 2, 8-3. Charleston wins the last one 5-4. Reed, your Cougars get a nice 2-1 win as CAA play begins.
Yeah, much needed too. After the rough start, to kind of just right the ship this weekend and to start off conference play is always a plus to win this opening series.
And Braxton, I'll let you kick it off, sir. High Point goes down to Gainesville, takes the series.
Yeah, this is the highlight of the week for Carolinas and nationally maybe as well. I think a lot of people did not expect any of the SEC schools to lose a series this weekend. They all
Big
had
South SEC Challenge.
Yeah, I mean the Big South did pretty well. I would say, obviously taking a series in Florida is huge, but that's good. I mean, this is huge for High Point. I think they were kind of sluggish to start the year. I mean, they dropped out of our rankings right before this week. They haven't been playing their best ball, I guess we could call it. I think that we knew they were very talented still. We know their coach is a great coach. But they really stepped up. I mean, they took it to Florida. I mean, if you watch those games, like they just looked like the better team the whole time, the whole weekend, really. So they absolutely took it to Soley and company down there. And, it's something to be proud of for the Carolinas. I think, Wade Walton and Tyler Bratchville were fantastic in the 2 wins on the mound. They didn't strike out a lot of guys, but they got outs. They did what they needed to do. Obviously, their offense came to play. I think it's Sin Jun O or whatever his name is, the kid on High Point. He had a great week. Christian Smith leading that team as well offensively. So just really, really great to see them just go to Florida and pull off a stunning series victory. Just huge for us, huge for that program, huge for the Big South. And, yeah, I wish they could have swept. I mean, look at the Sunday score, 12-11. They were right there for the sweep, which would have been an even bigger statement. But they do move back into our rankings and deservingly so.
So, Colby, is the SEC overrated?
Someone else got to win the national title before I can say that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Reed Tobin?
Yeah, I guess you're right about that, Colby. But no, I mean Braxton makes all great points. I really was not expecting that. High Point, like Braxton said, not off to the best start before this weekend. But no, this is awesome for the Carolinas. They were 3 outs away yesterday from completing the sweep before they ran into some issues there in the 9th, just walking a bunch of batters. But really good weekend overall for High Point.
And the SEC team takes 4 from our precious Queens, unfortunately. So maybe the A-Sun's not quite there like the Big South is, but hey, it's okay, Queens. It's okay.
I think they've lost every game since South Carolina.
They've lost 8 in a row since South Carolina.
Yeah, they've got to get a win somewhere. I mean, it was tough. It was a tough stretch, right? I mean, they played
at
Army
State.
Yeah, Army State, and then they went to I think they played Notre Dame this week. That's
This week, yeah. I think they have 2 games against them.
Yeah. So.
But one thing we did not touch on, because we did not have a preview show on Thursday, Braxton, Western Carolina, Georgia, nominee for Game of the Year. I mean, holy shit. I mean, that was phenomenal. I mean, oh my gosh. I think we were all following it at some point. Braxton, I'll let you dive into that game because we need to give Western their flowers.
No, it's a good segue because we're talking about Georgia right now, and yeah, we need to give Western their flowers. I mean, they generated a lot of buzz on was it Wednesday or Tuesday? I can't remember, but
Tuesday.
Yeah, what a win. I mean, like you said, that game was awesome. Mason Holton, I mean, he came up clutch. He gave them the lead in the 7th or 8th. Then they lose the lead. Then he is due up again, hits a huge, a grand slam to take the lead.
Yeah.
And then they get the last 3 outs, and then even just some drama on the very last play too with the tag play at first. On Trey Phelps, I think it was. So, I mean, just a phenomenal win. And yet again, another big statement by one of our schools. And we love as Carolina Curveball when this happens because it just helps us out so much. Because obviously we're tweeting about it, like when our programs get big time upsets like that, it's huge for us. It's huge nationally in college baseball for mid-major programs to get it done. And midweeks matter. I mean, that we've said this all along, like midweeks do matter. They matter a lot for a team like Western. They matter just as much for Georgia. Like you can't move into a game and expect to win it against these teams. And, I'm not saying they underestimated Western, but maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But the one thing I will say is from those clips, it sounded like Western was a home team. Like took over. I don't know if they had a bunch of fans there, if that was just coming from the dugout, but just awesome to see, man. That was electric. And like you said, we didn't get a chance to talk about it Thursday, but definitely need to talk about it, and we're giving them their flowers here.
Yeah,
Western
Western definitely took advantage of their ticket allotment from Athens.
Yeah,
from Athens from Georgia because they were loud. It was pretty electric. Tobin?
Yeah, I believe Western there in that 9th inning, they were down to their last strike. Four straight batters before Mason Holton hit that go-ahead grand slam.
Absolutely electric stuff. Move on to the CAA as UNC Wilmington sweeps Jacksonville 8-3, 9-4, 7-2. Nice bounce back from a midweek loss versus ECU. The next series, Braxton Upstate goes down to Austin, getting swept by Texas. Unfortunate there. To move on, Wofford takes 2 out of 3 over Belmont. Wofford wins game 1, 11-8. They play a doubleheader on Sunday. Belmont takes game 1/game 2, 3-2. Then Wofford ends it 11-1. Nice win for Wofford there. Wofford now moves to 10-5 on the season. And anyone have any comments on Terriers?
I mean, they're slowly just taking care of business too. This is what they do. They kind of quietly just win ball games, and as we know, Kaysen, they always win 30, 35, 40 sometimes games. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that they're sitting at 10-5. They could be ranked here before long if they continue in that trajectory. And also UNCW, just going back to them, I think this is a huge weekend for them. I know Reed and some other guys had them in the rankings this week, so I think they're right there. That pitching staff has been really impressive to start the season. If they can find some offense consistently, they will be right in there as well. And then just real quickly, Upstate, they competed hard. I'm proud of the way they competed, especially in that second game. They only lost by a couple runs, but Texas is one of the best teams in the country. You're just not going to show up and beat them every day. I mean, it's going to be tough. So they've got to really bounce back this week and start winning some ball games because they're sitting at, I think, 7-10 now or something like that. So looking for them to start winning some games here as their schedule gets a little bit easier.
App State moves to 10-5 on the season with a sweep over Presbyterian. They win game 1, 7-5, game 2, 13-3, game 3, another tongue twister, 13-4. And Colby Presbyterian falls to 2-14 now, which is not very good at all. They have now lost 12 straight games. They have not won a game in 3 weeks. But Colby can only go up from here, right?
I don't know. I think it's going to be a long season for Presbyterian. How about App State, though, after last weekend where they kind of choked away the series against Gardner-Webb and then had a really close game in the midweek hosting Wake Forest? It's good to go out and get a sweep, get back on the winning ways. I think App State's a really good team, so good to see them back to winning.
Without a doubt. And Reed Tobin, our lone SEC team, South Carolina sweeps Princeton. And Reed, Logan Sutter was the Carolina Curveball Player of the Week, going 9 for 16, 10 RBIs, 9 runs scored, 4 home runs, 2 doubles, 2 walks, and Reed Tobin. Guess what? Palminieri's still in that dugout, bud.
Yeah, good week for South Carolina, for a change. Able to right the ship this week after last week, 5-0 this week, including beating Charleston Southern, in the midweek. Like you said, Logan Sutter, big week overall at the plate, 4 home runs. Amp Phillips, had a good game. And, this was against a Princeton team that took a game against State, that took a game against Duke. So good for them to be able to handle business this weekend. KJ Scobie and Tyler Back had big weeks overall at the plate too. So did Will Craddock. So this is good. Maybe this will build them a little momentum as SEC play starts next weekend.
And to wrap it up, put y'all on the spot, as it says in the graphic for those listening, it says who won the weekend. Braxton, who won the weekend? It can be a player, a team, anything.
Do we want to talk about the?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Wake and UNC.
And then
Yes.
we can circle back. To
Yes, sorry, I forgot. I rewrote those down because not all the series were on this graphic because some series ended on Saturday. Charleston Southern 2-1 over Georgia State. Virginia takes the first 2 versus UNC. Kind of a shocking development there in Chapel Hill. Wake sweeps Stanford pretty handily, and then Auburn sweeps Winthrop to end the SEC Big South Challenge. Braxton, I'll pass it to you first. Which one would you like to discuss, if not all of them, sir?
Yeah, I mean, I'll let Reed talk about UNC. I was a little bit disappointed in Winthrop. I thought they could grab a game in Auburn. I really did. They got blanked in the first 2 games, and then I think that they had a doubleheader yesterday. So to see them go and score 1 run when this is a team that's been scoring consistently 9-10 runs a game, like, I was a little bit disappointed. I know they'll be disappointed as well in that performance, but they've got to kick it back into gear here quickly and move on, and with Big South play coming up. But I would say that, and then Charleston Southern, they just keep winning. They keep winning series, they keep winning games, and that's why they're sticking in our rankings. And they've been really impressive. Some of us continue to count them out a little bit, and they just keep proving us wrong and proving some of us right. Obviously, we're a little bit split on them in this group, but. Look, they played really good ball. You got to give them credit where it's due. I did not expect them to go to Atlanta or in Georgia State and win that series, and they did. So credit to them. But yeah, I'll let Reed touch on Carolina, Virginia, because that was a surprise as well. I did not expect Virginia to play that well down here in Chapel Hill.
Yeah, but first I'll just say that's a great series win for Charleston Southern at Georgia State. Georgia State beat Georgia Tech earlier in the year. So very impressive series win for Charleston Southern. They're rolling right now. But yeah, no, I mean, Carolina this weekend, was just really roughed up. First time their pitching staff, their starters on the weekend really got a hit. DeCaro was roughed up. He didn't allow too much. Virginia just blew him out the door on Friday. Same thing happened on Saturday. I was impressed by the fight back on Sunday to avoid the sweep. I mean, that would have been a disaster. Start getting swept on your home field to start ACC play. But Carolina last year opened ACC play, losing to Stanford too on their home field. But Braxton, I just want to Gavin Gallagher. He's really struggling right now at the plate. Slow start to the season again, like he did last year. I don't think he's hit a home run yet. Has he this season?
No, he did. We saw it in Durham.
I think he has one. Because
that's right.
Won the first series.
Yeah, Gavin Gallagher hit one in Durham to the.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Road.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
He has too. But yeah, he hasn't been his best, but we know it's coming.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Virginia though, very impressive. I watched them play on Tuesday when they got blanked by Charlotte, which just makes that win look even better for Charlotte. Virginia looks like they're going to be one of the top teams in the ACC this year.
Colby, your thoughts on the series we discussed, and also I actually pre-show about Wake Forest. I mean, Wake Forest climbed in the power rankings and they sweep Stanford as well. I think for any of these teams traveling in the ACC, going whether it's West Coast to East Coast, is always a tough trip. But going there to the couch and getting swept by Wake Forest.
Yeah, Wake looks really good. Obviously, Morningstar leading the rotation with another great start. And then their hitters are just we do our stats for honors, and it's like, oh, I got 6-7 hitters.
Yeah,
you see what I did there?
You gotta stop.
Their lineup is lethal. And then when you have a rotation, I mean, they have Cam Bagwell as their midweek starter. That guy, he would be a first, second, third option for most teams on the weekend. And yeah, I think they're stacked. It's a really good team.
Yeah,
15 wins in a row.
Oh yeah,
too.
After losing their first game, so I apologize. That was on my sheet. Did not read it. Was moving too fast. So I'll put you on the spot here. Braxton, you first. Who won the weekend? It can be a player, a team. It can be, if you could say, even you won the weekend, maybe, man.
I mean, I've got to go High Point, I think, but I'll just say, yeah, let's just go High Point. I mean, that's the easy answer. They were the shock of the weekend. I didn't expect to be waking up Sunday and them having a real chance to sweep in Florida. I thought there were some teams that could get some games. Like I mentioned Winthrop. I mentioned, I thought High Point could potentially get a game. I haven't watched too much of Florida this year. I know they've had a solid start. I think they were 13-1 or 13-2 heading into that series, or maybe something like that. But yeah, I mean, we'll go back on it. High Point was just, they outplayed them in every game. I watched quite a bit of the series because when you check the scores and you see High Point has a lead, you're going to drop into that game and see what's going on. And they just looked like the better team. So you got to give them a ton of credit going down there and winning that series.
Colby, who won the weekend, sir?
I'm going to go with UNCW sweeping at Jacksonville. I think that's one of the most slept on results of the weekend. Jacksonville was 8-1 at home this season before this series, and they went 21-8 last year at home. So that's a tough place to win. And they went down there after a pretty close loss to ECU during the midweek and bounced back with a sweep at a place that's tough to win at. So I'm going UNCW won the weekend.
I'm going to say mine. So Reed does not have the chance to take mine because I think he will. I'm going to go with Coastal Carolina this weekend. I think not really having their back against the wall, but a series that is kind of a must-win for them, as we talked about in our preview show with Steve and Igo. They don't play the top teams in the Sun Belt. They don't play Southern Miss. They don't play Troy. So this was a big opportunity for them to get a resume-building series win, and also just with all the injuries that they have, and they just gutted out wins. I mean, all the first two games were close in the late innings, and they just found a way. And also, it helps when you have Colby Thorndike on your team, who's facing former team. Whenever just a pro betting tip for those listening, if there's a former ECU baseball player playing ECU, bet on that team. They will win. Reed Tobin, who won the weekend?
I'm going to go with Charlotte, with the win over Radford and then taking 2 from Western Carolina. And then not to mention what they did against Virginia in the midweek. Just very impressive weekend overall, kind of stopping Western, who was coming into the weekend on fire, beating ECU and Georgia, like we mentioned earlier.
That will do it for the Week 4 recap. We will now touch on the midweek madness. This is one of our favorite parts of the week, the midweek games. Make sure that you put your picks on our Instagram stories. We love to see who you guys pick. We love that when Queens beat South Carolina, only 6 people picked Queens to win. I was one of those 6. There were 48 South Carolina voters. If you're watching, you're a South Carolina voter, take it. But granted, maybe we are a curse because we talked about Queens and they haven't won a game since. Brax, you talk about that. Eric Paulson did not get a hit this weekend after winning Curveball Player of the Week. So South Carolina, Logan Sutter might not get a hit. So I apologize in advance. Now we will run through the midweek.
I'm going to, by the way.
Huh?
What a slate, by the way, the midweek.
Yes, this is a absolute cinema. I'm gonna do the meme right here. I'm going to go through these a little at a time, and we'll kind of talk about ones that we want to discuss. First, Elon at NC State is that 3 p.m. Colby, your icon.
Oh, you know for sure it is. If the game's at Duke,
even with the spring forward, man, they just
even with the spring forward. Elon at NC State, Bucknell at North Carolina, Gardner Webb at Davidson, Old Dominion at East Carolina, Morehead State at UNC Asheville, Liberty at UNCG. Reed Tobin, from those that I listed, which one of these are you most interested in, sir?
Let's see. Trying to look here on my phone. I think I'd probably.
If you're watching, this is absolute cinema. Reed Tobin is about to sniff the screen. If you're watching.
Yeah, no, it's very small on my screen here.
Do you want me to read them again, Tobin? I
can read if you don't mind.
Elon, NC State, Bucknell, North Carolina, Gardner Webb, Davidson, Old Dominion, ECU, Morehead State, UNC Asheville, Liberty at UNCG.
I'm going to go with Gardner Webb at Davidson. I'm curious to see, Gardner Webb, obviously, with the big blowout on Friday night against Oklahoma State, unfortunately losing the series. But, with the way they've started the season, too, and then, Davidson kind of righted the ship this past weekend. I think that'll be a fascinating game tomorrow.
Next, we have Princeton at Winthrop, Western Carolina at App State, Charlotte at Campbell, Charleston Southern at UNC Wilmington, and Wake Forest at Coastal Carolina. Colby, I'll pass it to you, sir. Which one of these games are you interested in seeing?
That group are some heavy hitters right there.
Oh, yeah.
I like a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go with Charlotte Campbell. Obviously, Charlotte with a really good week last week, and then Campbell sweeping William and Mary this weekend. It isn't tough to play in Bowie's Creek. So that'd be impressive for Charlotte to go down there and get a dub.
Braxton, Wake Forest, and Coastal at 6 p.m. on the Plus cinema.
Yeah, that's a big one. Can Wake stay hot? I think, if I remember correctly, this game ended. This was kind of Coastal's coming out party a little bit last year. Is that right? Because didn't they run rule Wake like pretty handily?
Yes, they beat them pretty bad.
I believe Wake beat them pretty bad too in one of the games too last year.
Yeah, I can't remember which way it happened, but I
think it was Wake.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they kind of
that does sound right now.
But Western Carolina at App State really intrigues me. I don't know if y'all saw, but App State had a great crowds this weekend at their field. They are I believe they host Coastal next weekend. Is that true in the Sun Belt opener?
I believe you're right.
But because I think I saw them advertising that on their Twitter, but they host Western and then the Coastal this week. Like, they've been getting a lot of fans at that park. I think it was Wake. Were they playing Wake last midweek?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they had a big crowd for that. So I'm kind of interested to see if they can keep that up and that energy around the program, because they can keep winning games if they do so. Maybe they can challenge Coastal here to open up Sun Belt play. I mean, that would be an absolute statement if they can win a series against the favorite of the Sun Belt, arguably, other than maybe Southern Miss. But yeah, these 4 or 5 here are great games. I mean, Charleston Southern, UNCW, a little bit of a rematch from a couple weeks ago. And then Colby touched on Charlotte Campbell, but Wake Coastal will definitely be on my TV at 6 o'clock, I would say.
Duke High Point, 2 teams with 2 completely different opportunities here. Duke needs a big bounce back, and Colby, High Point wants to continue their Power 4 tear here after defeating Florida on the weekend. Who would you say this is more important for, Duke or High Point?
I'd probably lean Duke. Just they need to, without Cannon, they need to show they can beat a quality opponent, and it
On the road,
starts on the road too. Yeah, I'd say it probably more important for Duke.
Notre Dame at Queens. They only play once. Yes. Upstate versus Wofford. Braxton, do you know they're playing off the top of your head?
Yeah, they're playing at the new Spartanburg Park there. I can't remember the name of it, First Bank or something like that. It's coming. I think they started this last year where they play at that site and they get a good bit of fans out. It's kind of a newer stadium. I never got to play there in my time at Upstate because it was being built. But yeah, that's a super cool game if you get a chance to tune into it. And two good teams as well in Upstate and Wofford that always go at it.
Clemson versus Georgia Southern, Presbyterian at FAU, South Carolina at the Citadel. Reed, the Citadel continues their absolute gauntlet. Can they upset South Carolina in the midweek?
I think they'll have a good chance. I think we'll probably see a good amount of us probably pick Citadel. Should be a good game tomorrow. We'll see if South Carolina can continue last week's good play into this week.
To move on to Wednesday, East Carolina at William & Mary, 4 o'clock, UNCG at A&T. Have G and A&T played every single week so far this season?
Sure sounds like it.
This is their second game, I think.
I mean, goodness gracious. I swear this is a third. I'm not joking.
It may be.
This is their third.
I don't know who was the home team last year. I think this one is at A&T's field, though, from what I saw.
Presbyterian at FAU, Princeton at Winthrop, and to wrap it up, College of Charleston at Wofford. Colby, which one of these games sticks out to you? Is it UNCG and A&T playing for an 8th time through 4 weeks?
Absolutely.
It's going to be absolute cinema. Actually, I should make it down there tomorrow. Go to NC A&T, return to where I saw ECU play in the fall. Reed, do I need to list these off or?
No, man, you're good.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it looks like Princeton's just gonna play.
Carolina.
Every team in the Carolinas before they return back to the north. But Charleston and Wofford should be a good game tomorrow or on Wednesday.
I agree. Braxton, your closing thoughts on the Midweek Madness?
I mean, it's a great slate. I got excited making it because I was just like, there's a lot of in Carolina or multi Carolina team matchups, which I'm really excited about. So we'll definitely get some pick'ems or some bit pick'em polls on the story. So if you're not following us on Instagram yet, be sure to follow us. I think we're just about to hit 400, so that's really cool.
We're at 399.
Yeah, so go follow us right now. Get us to 400, maybe 500, if we can get there soon. But yeah. Really excited to watch this baseball tomorrow. We do have another game at Athens. We won today, which is awesome. Wrote the ship, as Tobin says, from Saturday. But hey, I will be watching some baseball after that game as well. And then, we'll see how all this action ends up. Midweeks do matter. We've said it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
They matter, and they matter a lot to us this year. I mean, we've really tried to put an emphasis on it this year, and I think the team should do the same as well.
Without a doubt. I want to put emphasis on what you said of make sure you follow us on Instagram. We will have our stories out called Midweek Madness, where we'd love to see who you pick. And we're at 399 right now. And if you're the 400th follower and you're listening, I'll send you a cookie cake. Just DM to confirm you're the 400th one, and I'll DM you a cookie cake for being a 400th follower. Fellas, let's discuss. I kind of want to bring this up because all of us are kind of on heaters so far. We do a Midweek Madness pick'em. All of us on Kind of Curveball, we pick every midweek game, and we're all doing pretty well. Braxton is 43-14. Kaysen, myself, I'm in third person here, is 43-14. Colby, 41-16. Reed, 43-14. Money Matt, 38-19, and the technician, James Malice, full government, 46-11. So
going off. This is these records have really made up for our weekend pick'em performance.
Oh yeah, our weekend pick'em is abysmal. Yeah. Let's take an update on our curveball pick'em. Our curveball pick'em update, Braxton. I'm sorry I have to say this out loud, but it'll be on there Thursday night. Friday morning, excuse me. Braxton is 6
Probably
and
Thursday this week with the Clemson game.
correct.
Oh yeah, that's a
You're
good
right. I was
point.
correct.
We
See?
might have to post that on Thursday.
My intuition. Braxton is 6 and 13. Sorry, brother. It's okay. Kaysen, myself, 10 and 9. Colby, 10 and 9. Hey, Colby, we're in it together, brother.
Let's just stay above 500.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Reed Tobin at 8 and 11. Money Matt was blazing the field this week at 12 and he's 12 and 7 and 4 and 1 in the pick'em this
Tell him
week.
what happened. Tell him what happened.
Reed, I'll let you say what happened, sir.
Yeah, let's just say somebody didn't get their picks in on time, so Braxton took care of his picks, and he ends up having the best record for the week.
Yep, that's exactly how it works, folks. So,
Yeah.
Braxton, how about you not send your picks in, and we'll just make them for you. So that's guaranteed to make your record.
Oh no, that just goes to show you how bad I truly am, because I made them as a punishment for him, and yeah, of course it pretty much almost full fades. So, yeah, shout out to Matt though. He's been doing good otherwise.
Oh yeah, and to wrap it up, the technician 8 and 11. So Matt, who is not here, holding strong at 12 and 7. Really love doing this pick'em. Really love talking about it.
Let us know if you want to see Let us know if you guys want to see more of that too.
Oh yes.
Always post the midweek ones, or maybe we can do more with it. But obviously it's a lot of fun for us behind the scenes to just do it amongst ourselves too. But
is there anything else we want to touch on before we sign off, fellas? I'll let anyone have
Power rankings.
USA is up 5-0.
Colby?
Power rankings.
Oh yeah, we can run through those. We can run through those. I'll pull it up right now, sir. The Carolina Curveball official power rankings this week. Number 1, Clemson at 15 and 1. Number 2, Wake Forest 15 and 1, up 2 spots from number 4. NC State coming in at number 3 at 14 and 2. North Carolina dropping 2 spots at 13, 3 and 1. That one is so annoying to look at. Coastal Carolina stays put at number 5 at 9 and 6. Charlotte up 2 spots at 11 and 4 at number 6. Number 7, Duke 13 and 5, dropping 1 spot. 8, South Carolina 12 and 5, jumping 1 spot. East Carolina down 2 spots at 8, 7 and 1. Charleston Southern stays at 10, who is 12 and 3. High Point at 11, 9 and 7, going from not ranked. And Gardner Webb holding strong at number 12, stayed there from last week at 10 and 6. Colby, what are your initial takeaways from the power rankings, as this is the first week where we kind of really saw some major movement throughout the rankings?
Yeah, I guess my main takeaway, I think it's the highest Charlotte's ever been in the 3 years we've been doing this. So shout out to the Niners.
Oh yeah, that's right, brother. And the Carolina Panthers have agreed to terms with Devin Lloyd, so my night is made. Can't even lie. Sorry, I just got a text. Reed Tobin, Braxton, huge the program. We'll talk about it after the show. Reed Tobin, your ranking, your reactions to the power ranking. Excuse me.
Yeah, like Colby says, good for Charlotte. They deserve it. The way they're playing, they look like they can.
Yeah, my bad.
Sorry, Reed.
No, you're good. The way they're playing, they certainly look like they could, get into the top 5 here in the upcoming weeks. But I'm really impressed with Wake right now and what Clemson, what they're both doing. Wake obviously with 15 wins in a row, and then there'll be room for Carolina and State here in the upcoming weeks to get into the top 2.
Braxton, sir, your thoughts on the power rankings?
Yeah, I think it kind of wrote itself a little bit. I'm trying to get it pulled up here, but it's all right, just for our YouTube watchers. But Wake Forest, I think that's that they've kind of been deserving of a jump here with the way they've been performing the last few weeks. But I think Coastal staying put after getting a big series win, I think that's just a product of kind of what happened around them. I think obviously Carolina drops a couple of spots. Charlotte, like you guys mentioned, I mean, they deservingly have moved right up to the top 6 ahead of Duke and South Carolina and East Carolina, who they were previously behind earlier in the season. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit, there could be an argument maybe for High Point to be even higher. I mean, how much do we value that series win? I think we value it a lot, but I think they need to continue to prove themselves and, continue to win games. I mean, 9-7 is not the best record, but obviously going down and winning at Florida, I think that's probably 2 of the better wins of anyone in the Carolinas as of right now. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I think we're going to see a lot of different teams fluctuate from 10 to 12. I think there's just a lot of teams that deserve recognition and deserve to be in our power rankings. Obviously, we can only have 12. That's the way we do it. So that's the way it's going to be. But, I think we've already saw, how many teams have we seen in here? We've seen Winthrop in here. We've seen Western Carolina in here. We had UTW at the beginning of the season. So, if you're hot and if you're playing good ball and you have a good record and a good resume, you're going to find yourselves in here. And, the best way to do so is to just keep winning ball games. So we will see who does that and who does not.
And speaking of keep winning ball games, Wake Forest 15 straight. I think we will see them maybe at number 1 coming up soon in ACC plays. They just continue to be on a tear. I think they're a really good team, but Clemson is right there with them at 15-1. Also I'm very curious to see 3 through 5 right now at NC State, North Carolina, and Coastal. I think all 3 of those teams are kind of in the same area to me. I'm curious to see how they kind of maybe move each other. I'm curious to see, though, with Coastal Carolina, because they're not going to play the same quality opponents as NC State and North Carolina, so they really have to take advantage and just kind of stack wins, because North Carolina and NC State are going to have those RPI opportunities with their strength of schedule to kind of jump teams and be able to move up and down. Braxton, did you have something?
I mean, no, just thinking about that right now, like that's a huge opportunity for them tomorrow against Wake, especially within our little power rankings too, right? Like if they can show that they can beat Wake, that's a huge step in the right direction for them. And then if they go to App and go to Boone and win a series, assuming that's who they play, I mean, I would be certainly impressed with Coastal if they win out this week.
Yeah, fellas. Does anyone else have any comments on the power rankings as we wrap up tonight?
I'm all good.
All good. Thank you, Braxton. Thank you, boys, for a wonderful show. It was a great recap. Good to be back as we missed last Thursday. Good to be back. Looking forward to a massive midweek coming up. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Like Braxton said, be sure to follow us on all platforms at Carolina Curve BB. If you're listening on Spotify, thank you so much. Be sure to follow, rate this podcast 1 star or 5 stars. If you don't like us, rate us 1 star. If you do like us, please rate us 5 stars. We appreciate you listening. Subscribe on YouTube, like, comment. And lastly, please pick on our midweek madness. We love to see who you guys pick. Boys, good night. This was fun. We will see you on Thursday. And Clemson is playing Thursday versus
Georgia Tech.
Correct. So you will get some live reaction to that as well as a weekend preview. Good night, folks. See you on Thursday.